Hey everyone, I'm Nito King, and today on Folklore, it's the schmoozing video. Before we do the nighttime quest, we might as well talk to our Half-Life friends. Oh, Charlie, I don't think your instrument is the problem. It's so unfortunately true. Yeah, it's true. The only time Bell Guy has shown up here is when he picked up Keats. Anyway, we've only got one quest in this chapter, and unfortunately it's not a particularly fun one. We've already taken care of the good quests. So yeah, about all we gotta do is defeat a Malabaricus, but as always, there's gonna be a catch. And on that note, I think I want protection from water this time. Now we need to go into the swamp, whether that's the path that Ellen chose or not. It could be that you picked Ellen the first time, sent her into the Forgotten Palace, and have never even seen the Swamp of Oblivion, but that's where this quest is gonna send you. It's pretty much the worst condition. But fortunately, we won't have to worry about that until we find the Peg Powders. And first, we gotta fight our way through a whole bunch of other folks. Let's see. We do still need to build up Fraxinus. Gotta kill a couple more folks. So I'll try to take care of that while I'm here. I guess Azrai aren't the easiest things to defeat, but they'll do pretty well, especially since I'm already here in the Undersea City. Kinda makes me wish I'd bothered to do this during that other quest in Orcadia, but I was being timed there. Here, you kinda do wanna waste as much time as possible. Although not yet. It's a bit early to be hanging around and not getting anything done. But at the same time, I only have a suspicion of where Malabara is going to show up. And that'll do it for Fraxinus. Let's see what else we need to do. Defeat 3 Ogma. Who would have known Ogma was so weak to slash? Or it may not be. That could be a very tall order. But I'll be encountering some Ogma later. Not here. And an Azrai just goes swimming right past me. Silly little thing. Whole bunch of enemies. Now, I'm not supposed to attack any peg powlers, but nobody said anything about using them myself. Which is fortunate, because again, even against one hobbledy, this is still probably the best method. And there are barriers up to prevent us from going anywhere except straight to the back of the room. This is where... No, this is the room before where we met Malabaricus before, and there's no barrier behind me. The barrier is just here to separate the two halves of this room. Remember, this is one really wide room with Afangs on one end and Selkies on the other end. Pig Powler's of no use against these enemies. And there is a Kushi. We can deal with that pretty simply. I love the increased range of its spit attack. And as long as I can take out all the Azrai first, we should have plenty of time, because there is a karma that I need to worry about involving Kushi. As long as it's not dumping ice blocks on my head at the time. First, I'll immobilize it, and then I need to defeat 5 of these things with Ogma. Now this is where you really start to see the separation between the red id popping up and how much HP the folk actually has left. Because Kushi, just like Selkie, can't be hit until it stands back up. And even if I do immobilize it and bring out its red id again, it's still going to take the same number of hits. Now, maybe there is some amount of HP damage, but I can't imagine that you could kill a folk using a bonding attack. I should probably experiment. Drakai does have an actual attack rating. But there you go. That's 1 Kushi defeated with Ogma. 4 to go. It's not a fun karma to build up. This is where Malabaricus appeared. Or rather, where it would have appeared had Ellen come in this direction. This is where we fought Excedra as Keats. And there are the 3 peg powlers. And since I can't attack them, the only thing that I can safely do is dodge. But I figured I'll get my folks ready anyway for when Malabaricus does show up. That way I won't have to go and swap my palette around again. Really, about the only thing you can do here is keep Acidia up as much as you can, and stay far away from them. Because they've got those headbutt attacks, they've got the jet of water they can spit at you. It almost seems kind of weird to have the mini-boss music playing while I'm fighting just a bunch of pig powlers, but then again, they're dangerous. And they're really just here to soften you up a bit before Malabaricus shows up. I don't intend to let them do that. And I think that message marks about the halfway point of our pointless time wasting. I think putting up Patriot is probably a little on the dangerous side here, because if I'm not facing whoever it is that's going to attack me, then Patriot isn't going to work. But it'll serve well enough, and I don't think I'm really going to be putting up a shield much, at least while I'm trying to get away from these guys. Fortunately, at least their headbutt attack is very short-ranged. The water attack has got a long range on it. But this is pretty much it. Just run in circles around the room, keeping up my defenses as much as I can, and waiting for Malabaricus to appear. There it is. I just spotted it on my radar. And at this point, I'm still very carefully avoiding attacking the peg powlers, but I'm pretty sure there's absolutely no problem. Now that the Malabaricus is here, it's not going to just poof out of existence if I attack one of the other folks. Of course, Ellen's going to poof out of existence if it attacks her much more than this. And the peg powlers don't particularly make easy targets. I mean, we've got 4 big fish here now, and I don't have a lot of options for attacks that are going to be all that good against them. And I can use the destroy element. It might not be such a bad idea. Thunder is probably going to be the most effective. And that leaves me with Gaboy and Hobbledy. And getting very thoroughly cornered. So I smash the crystals, hoping to get some recovery. There are no life drops available. At least, not any of the crystals that I managed to break here. The real difficulty in this quest is just managing to survive all these attacks. The good news is, enough thunder attacks will shock Malabaricus. So, that takes him out of the fight for a bit. And I would love to kill some of these peg powlers, but I really don't know. It's possible that you will lose the quest if you capture one of them. At this point, there's not even any use putting up Acidia because I'm completely out of HP. Even with Acidia up, one hit is going to kill me. So I'll just try to put an end to this as quickly as I can. You gotta use the directional pad on the PS3 controller to switch which target you're attacking. That's kind of inconvenient. And then I decide, this is a good time to go for another Karma. Defeat Malabaricus with Warthog. It is taking more hits than I'd like, and I'm worried about it recovering, so I just go for the capture, hoping that maybe I'll get lucky and snag it without getting hit by a peg powler. I don't. So, that's that quest. I'm not giving up. I almost had the thing. And the real key is just don't try to capture a Malabaricus while there's 3 peg powlers in the room. So here we are running at 8 times the speed and ignoring everything along the way, because you don't need to fight anything, and you probably don't want to fight anything. You just want to stay out of the way of the pigpowlers. And then Malabaricus shows up, and I'm ready for it. I'm just going to go on the all-out offensive here. Using what little defense I need to. I've fought at least one Malabaricus at this point. I'm used to the way it charges without a moment's notice. And I'm getting a lot better at keeping up a Gaboy combo. I know when I can use it again after that fourth hit. And now, why not compound one bad decision with another? At least this time I've got plenty of HP. I'm not in any danger of getting knocked out. So I just want to make sure that I kill this thing with Warthog. Although it's been stunned for a really long time and is probably going to wake up soon, so I want to hit it and make sure that it doesn't wake up. And I destroy it with Puka. I'm brilliant. But at least that's victory for the quest. And we get Ellen's first rare folk, Koropuna, or Koropuna. I honestly have no idea how you're supposed to pronounce that. It's kinda handy. It gives me another option for the destroy element. And it looks kinda weird. But I won't be fighting any Gaboy in the upcoming quest, so it's not going to see much use. Because we're going to do a rather familiar quest. No normal quests to do. The downloaded quests, though, we've still got that Netherworld walk. The training ground with 4 rounds, all of which are timed, and which I've never managed to clear yet. We're gonna destroy this thing this time. First up, want to make sure I'm wearing the right cloak. There's very little water and very little slash element to deal with. But there will be some bond element attacks that I specifically want to avoid. And this time, I've got the folks that'll do the job. They're just not equipped right now. So I got Malabaricus to do large amounts of damage without really needing to target anything, and we've got Gaboy to cover a wide area with electricity. With those, even this really short round is very little problem. Even if I don't manage to get close enough to capture any of the folks before I attempt. I don't think I've ever had problems with this round. And of course, I'm still trying to collect a lot of green dust, because I'm going to need them. Wanted to have that one too. Couldn't. So, the familiar story. Next round, you have to destroy the Kilmulas. You can't capture them. Not really a problem. I can dish out large amounts of damage. And I figured I'd give Alrane a shot this time. I think the battleground is a bit bigger, the folk density is a bit more. And so I should probably have something that can deal out a lot of damage along a nice line. I don't really know whether that was a good decision or not, but Gutboy is probably going to be effective enough. I don't have to worry too much about any of the other folks I've got equipped, frankly. As long as I don't see any Kilmulus ids popping up, I should be good to capture. It's a bit faster than killing things hand to hand, I think. So it looks a little on the slow side, but we're nearly done. Couple more Kilmulus. Puka's a nice high strength. And I can plow through just about any one of these shields when they can only sustain one hit. I think that may have been faster the second time I did it. Yeah, see, Ellen's not even sure that she's doing all that great a job. Now we get into the part where I started having trouble in my later runs. We have to deal with impets without capturing them, and there are going to be a couple of Ogma in this round. I've got better tools for dealing with both of them now. No longer do I necessarily have to try to target these guys with Henki. Malabaricus will target an impet with no problem, unless something else gets in the way. So I probably want to take out these folks on the ground first so they stop getting in the way of my attacks. Because this is all really annoying. Fortunately, I'm going to buy time at the end because the Ogmas are going to be much easier to take out now that I've got an effective bond element attack. No more setting up a trap and trying to lure them into it. I can just pop on Drakai and probably even get the job finished with Fraxinus and have no problems. Or I can just kill him with Puka. See, much faster. I don't think I'm in any danger of running out of time now. Alright, I've got enough time to get the job finished right this time. So go ahead, Scarecrow. Bring on your final challenge. I'm ready for you this time. See, now I can capture anything that I want. We got 2 Ogma. They've never been a problem. We got a bunch of Impet. They're not a problem anymore. And we've got a Boobry. That's just as much of a problem as it's ever been. But we'll get by. I can deal with all this stuff. Just go ahead and kill any of these impets that get in the way. Well, I do need to capture a couple of them. So let's do that. And now, we discover the true secret to Impet's strength. What little strength it actually has. I can use 2 of them at once, and if I capture 5 Moriids, then I'll be able to use 3 of them at a time. Traps are a lot more effective when you don't have to lure the enemies specifically into the single spot that you've chosen to set up the trap. You just surround an enemy with impets and catch it off guard. And naturally, once I've got a couple more karmas unlocked, Brownie will function the same way as a charm element trap. I don't even think I knew Boobry could kick behind itself. But that's that down, and I think the only thing I've got is one Ogma left to deal with in almost a full minute. I'm getting kind of confused about what folks I've got set up where. Doesn't matter. The time that I spend trying to figure out which folks go where in my palette doesn't count against me. Which is good, because otherwise I probably would have failed this challenge by now. All done. So we get the usual 6 pulse tree nuts, and more yellow stones. I don't know whether the reward gets any better if I do it again. Don't really care to try. So there you have it. Those are all of the quests that are available to Ellen in Chapter 3. Well, I'm sure some of them were worth it. Anyway, join me next time for a grinding video with Red Rover to teach us more about the folks from this chapter.